Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we continue with the rebooted rolling stock history series, and we will be discussing the Pennsylvania Railroad and Long Island Railroad's MP54 EMUs. To understand how the MP54s came to be, we have to go back to the late 19th century. At the time, Pennsylvania Railroad passengers coming from New Jersey had to transfer to a ferry to reach Manhattan. Meanwhile, its competitor, New York Central, had its own rail terminal in Midtown Manhattan, known as Grand Central Depot at the time. So PRR decided to build a new rail hub in Manhattan, along with a tunnel that would run from New Jersey under the Hudson River into Manhattan, and then across the East River to Queens, to connect with the Elder Bar, which the Pennsylvania Railroad took control in 1900. This rail hub was known as Penn Station at the time, though it was very different from the Penn Station we know today. But that is a story for another video. Since PRR's existing wooden train cars were not allowed to enter tunnels due to the hazard of fire, a fleet of new steel passenger cars with a 54-feet passenger compartment, 64 feet overall length, and 72 seats was soon developed and was designated as MP54. The fleet was also designed to accommodate electrical equipment. In 1908, the first group of MP54s was delivered to the PRR subsidiary, Long Island Railroad. Between 1908 and 1915, 225 MP54 type DC-powered coaches and 65 other powered MP54 type cars were delivered to the Elder Bar. Additional supplement orders were delivered later on. By 1930, there were a total of 923 MP54 type cars in service on the Elder Bar, including 626 coaches, 15 baggage cars, 52 combines, and 230 unpowered trailers. The Elder Bar units were built by the American Car and Foundry, with a few made by Pressed Steel Car Company or Standard Steel Car Company. The MP54 on the Elder Bar had three styles: MP54, MP54A, and MP54A1 were delivered with a railroad-style clear-story roof. Classes MP54B and MP54C were delivered with smooth, arch roof. Finally, the MP54D and MP54D1 classes were former steam coaches converted to electric operation with clear-story roofs. On September 8, 1910, with the opening of the Pennsylvania Station in Manhattan, Elder Bar MP54 fleet started operation from points on Long Island through the East River Tunnel into Penn Station. That same year, the PRR received its first group of MP54 type cars. 6 of the coaches and 2 of the combination cars were provided with DC electrical equipment, and the rest were for servicing trains pulled by steam of electric locomotives. PRR service started to operate into Penn Station on November 29th. The 8 electrified PRR MP54 cars were used for shuttle service between Penn Station and Manhattan Transfer. In late 1912, electrification of the PRR's suburban service between Philadelphia and Poly on the main line was authorized. In 1914, AC electrical equipment was added to 93 MP54 type cars at the Altoona shops for use in this service. Each car received a pantograph, a transformer, a power truck, a motorman's cab, and controls at each end, and MU circuits. These cars were then designated as MP54E to distinguish them from non-electrified cars. In 1915, the Poly line opened and other suburban lines were electrified in the 16 years. By 1933, the entire PRR line from Philadelphia to Penn Station had been provided with AC electrification, and the lines from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. and Harrisburg were subsequently electrified as well. MP54 were used to provide local service in the area. In the following years, more MP54s were electrified and new ones were purchased. Between 1926 and 1930, a further 144 cars were delivered from PRR main shops in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and standard steel in the class MP54 E2. Between 1932 and 1937, a total of 46 married pairs were constructed by Altoona that consisted of an unpowered trailer that was towed by a motor car. The MP54 cars went through many years of PRR service and into Penn Central, Conrail, New Jersey Department of Transportation, and then SEPTA and New Jersey Transit Service. They served commuters on the Keystone Corridor as well as the Northeast Corridor. They were also used on the Perth, Amboy, and Woodbridge Railroad taking passengers to and from South Amboy, New Jersey, and on the Dinky shuttles running between Princeton Junction and Princeton. Besides use on the Aldebar and PRR, a small fleet of 650 watts DC-powered MP54 cars were used on the West Jersey and Seashore Railroad's electrified interurban line between Camden, Minnieville, and Atlantic City in 1912. These cars, officially classified as MP54D, came equipped with both third rail and trolley posts for segments of the line that made use of overhead lines. These cars were used until electrified service on the PRSL was ended in 1949. In 1950, PRR decided to extend the MP54's life by rebuilding it instead of purchasing a new fleet. The initial batch of 50 450 horsepower cars was rebuilt at PRR's Wilmington Electric Shop in the class MP54 E5. A follow-up batch of 50 508 horsepower cars in the class MP54 E6 were rebuilt at the Altoona shops. The rebuild includes new, more powerful propulsion gear, roller bearing-equipped equalized trucks, new windows, and recessed transit-type lighting. Some of the MP54 on the Aldebar were augmented by about 150 newer MP72 and MP75 EMUs between 1955 and 1963. In 1965, as the state took over the Aldebar, new M1 cars were ordered and put into service. The MP54s started to phase out and were fully retired by 1972. The MP54s that served the PRR ran until 1981 when they fully retired from service. After MP54's retirement from both the Aldebar and the PRR, some were stored and preserved by museums or organizations, some of them which could be public access, such as Aldebar Combine 1398, reserved as the Territorial Chamber of Commerce office in Port Jefferson Station, New York. PRR Coach 441, 44, and 47 is in active use, painted for the New York Central on the Delaware and Ulster Railroad, and these are just few of the many that lived on as a production of this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you want to learn more about the history of the other rolling stocks, check out this playlist. More rolling stock history videos are on their way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.